Okay, you guys, so today's segment, today's YouTube video is Northford Timberframers class of 2012. So it's timber frames and shop tools. And we didn't talk about the shop tools last year, so I thought it was a good opportunity this year for you guys to see some of the tools that we've been using here for years. So I wanted to show off this, this boat builder's joiner, which is actually a Joseph Colliday. It was made in Philadelphia, and this date is authentic, this 1868. Colliday was actually credited with possibly having the first industrialized joiner like this. It originally would have been in a shop that had a line shaft drive. So it would have been driven with a big leather belt that went up to a wooden wheel in the ceiling that was on an axle, and it would have, the main line shaft would have driven several machines at one time, and there would have been a big wooden clutch, or a big wooden paddle, if you will, that disconnected this machine from the line shaft. So what I've done is I've taken and brought it into the modern world. It has a 5 horsepower single phase motor. It's a fabulous machine. It's actually an 18-inch cutter head. And years ago I put a spiral type cutter head in this, which is, if you've never used one of these, oh baby, I gotta tell you, to use this cutter head on this 18-inch precision bed, piece of tiger maple, no tear out, it comes out absolutely perfectly flat. It's a pleasure to use. So I've taken this machine from 1868 and brought it into a machine that you probably couldn't afford today if they made it new. It has a magnetic starter that's concealed underneath it. I built a tiger maple guard for the end here to keep your body away from it. Very easy to adjust. What makes it a boat builder's joiner, you might ask? Usually when the infeed table, which would be this table, is longer than the outfeed table. So this has a 4-foot infeed table, and it also has a 3-foot outfeed table. That's what makes it a pattern maker's joiner or a boat builder's joiner, because you can get an extremely long piece on the infeed without having it sag or fall to the floor. So here we go. I'm going to turn it on so you can actually see this spiral cutter head come up to speed. The brake has an electric, the motor has an electric brake on it, which uses CEMF, counter electrical motor force, to stop it. It's also hooked up to a dust collector, which is actually up in the ceiling. And the other good thing about this spiral cutter head is it doesn't make big chips. It actually peels the wood off, and they're very fine. The last thing I have to tell you guys about the joiner is I probably spent about 3 months restoring it. We had it sandblasted, we repainted it, we built a motor mount. I bought the cutter head from Bird Tool Corporation. I think they're in Kentucky. So it took a while for us to get this going. We polished the top. So then came the day when I could actually run a board through the joiner, and I was so excited. I just couldn't run a piece of pine or a piece of hemlock, so I chose to run a 17-inch piece of tiger maple through this for its maiden voyage. And what I did was, on the other side, I don't know if the light will show that up, I ran this side through the thickness planer. And you can see all the tear out. You can see all the tear out in this 17-inch tiger maple board, which the thickness planer has just straight knives in it. It's a very good planer. It's a 24-inch planer. Now if I turn it over, and you can see with one pass that there's no tear out, and what a beautiful smooth job the spiral cutter head did. So anyway, I had to show this board off to you, which was my first board through, and I saved it all these years, and it's still flat and square and straight, even though it sits in my woodworking shop. It leans against the wall. I never can use it. It always has to be shown off as the first board through the planer. Thank you.